Last night we had the distinct pleasure, Ty and I, the other founder of the Women's Business Center, had the distinct honor and pleasure of being invited to a reception and an event at the governor's mansion. And to be honest, although I have worked with people from the governor's office before, I don't recall ever visiting the executive mansion outside of that tour you take as a child, you know? And so it was very exciting and really quite an honor to be acknowledged. It was a pretty intimate event. I know less than 100. I feel like it was like 50 people, and so really got a chance to talk to people, to network. Y'all, you know how I feel about networking. To network and connect. Met some amazing, amazing, amazing people. And so the event itself is in honor of Women's Equality Day, which is officially tomorrow. And so I'm not sure how you're going to celebrate that. I'm not sure how you're going to honor it, but you can start by acknowledging that that's what it is. So it's all significant and based on the fact that women's voting rights. And so when that all transpired. And so in the state of Virginia, and it's a national holiday, August 26th, every year is Women's Equality Day. And so I still have some people who are like, well, why is that even necessary? And although I admit that initially gives me like this gut wrenching, violent response, I think it's really important for all of us when we're talking about the education of one another to recognize that someone knows something that you don't know. Someone has a different background than you, someone has a different understanding. We all have a different lens that we take on life. And so respect that difference and tone down the violent response when someone says, why is your hair that way? Or why is your skin color this way? Or why do you need a women's business center? Why don't you have a men's business center? I hear that one all the time. And so rather than get all like riled up, take a moment, breathe, and answer the question. You might be the doorway of education in someone's life that they might not have ever had someone logically, sensibly respond to the question. I don't know if I've ever told you all this story. It's not women's equality related, but still related to that tolerance in education and comprehension and conversation. When I was at JMU, go Dukes, Madison, James Madison, the whole nine. And so I worked through school, right? Because I paid for my education outside of scholarships because I'm so smart. Anything else I had to pay for. And so I had a job. And I was waiting tables, and this I can't remember what she looked like. I just know she was a little white girl, a little Caucasian child. And she walked up to me. I have no idea where her parents were initially. She walked up to me and she asked me with the biggest smile on her face. See, these are the details that I remember. And she said, "Are you the same color all over?" And I paused and I thought to myself, "Oh, did she?" And she asked me a second part, which I won't mention because I was like, it was slap worthy, but she's a child and she didn't have the information and apparently hadn't had the exposure and no one to ask the question of. So she asked the perfect stranger. And so near the end of her sentence, her question, her mom popped up and so embarrassed. And I was like, no, we're going to answer this question. Just one moment. So I proceeded to tell her that it wasn't dirt, that this is my skin color, that I am this color because I have melanin. She is that color because she lacks melanin. And so that it's all over. Yes, we all kind of tan, but it's a whole different thing. And so we had a little mini conversation about skin color. And a lot of you would have been like offended, like, who are your parents? What do you do? It's a child. And so if you can think of each person you're talking to as having that same childlike wonder, innocence, and need of understanding when you're explaining it to them, I think it'll make room for more conversations. So when we talk about women's equality, even in 2021, soon going into 2022, it is still stated today that it will be almost 200 years before women and men are at equal pay, which is ridiculous. I mean, really, it's ridiculous. And this is to say a man and a woman who have the same amount of experience, potentially been at the same job for the same amount of time, and they will not have the same paycheck.